Hi, folks. Welcome to the Moving On Podcast. I'm Jay Norman, and this is my wife.
Hi, I'm Jessie Norman. Just like many of you, Jay and I have both walked through some difficult seasons in our lives.
And we know just how easy it is to get stuck.
We now have 5 beautiful
And crazy.
children, and because of everything we've been through, our home operates on grace.
A concept we didn't fully understand until way later on in life.
Until we actually needed it ourselves. We want to share through stories of love and laughter,
How we were moving on and how big of a game changer grace can be.
in relationship with one another, and how we treat ourselves, and in our case, blending a family.
Something that may just require the largest amount of grace to date.
Preach.
You never know what road life's going to take you on. We have a podcast.
Yes, we do, and we really hope y'all enjoy it.
Hi, babe.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing so good. It's the first day of summer for us.
Yep, I got to see you right after lunch, so that's good.
I saw you walk past me and go up the steps and tell me to come on. Our studio is upstairs, which means he has a really small window to give me to record today.
Yeah, I got lots going on and lots to get done, but we're here getting it.
Yeah.
Going to do it today, and like she said, the first day of summer, we've got the kids locked outside.
Yeah.
And hoping we don't get any knocks on the door or any emergencies while we take this little bit of time here.
Locked outside and locked outside to go to the air-conditioned party barn. Those are two very different.
Hard time.
We had it harder, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Lots of stress.
No, they're having fun out there. Lily's been sitting in the party barn all morning doing art. And then they all 3 have been sorting their rooms, which was Cash's idea because we were telling him good night last night. He kind of pointed to me and he's like, tomorrow I'm going to sort all my stuff. I was like, okay.
Just the stuff is what he said. And so we're kind of landlocked, too, here at the house. We have 2 creek crossings I think we've referenced on here before.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of rain really since September of this last year. It's continued to rain, and our crossing has held up until this last 4-inch rain. And we left yesterday morning to go to CrossFit early and drove across it. Didn't think anything about it. Water, I did make a comment. I wonder why that water is only halfway up the pipe today.
Yeah.
So we come back, and I'm driving by, and I look down in there, and the water's not swirling. We get to the house, and I take a shower, and I'm thinking about it, and I realize that's because it's got somewhere to go. So I go back out there and look. Sure enough, it has busted through our crossing, blown out under the pipe and on the road, and we drove across it twice with nothing, no dirt underneath it. So
No.
we're kind of landlocked and having to park our vehicles, and still can walk across right now, but we're
It was a miracle.
losing about, I don't know, probably. We lost 2 foot last night, and it's lost some since I left this morning and come back. So we're fixing to build a bridge and hopefully rectify that, just a walking bridge or 4-wheeler bridge, whatever. So
Now that you say that, I'm realizing that one side stays like a lake, when we get that much rain. And I remember when we crossed thinking, that's low for that side,
for well, as much as it rained that night.
Yes. So now that does make sense to me.
It
But
had somewhere else to go.
I think it's funny because in the past week or 10 days, we have just been super busy with basketball and the end of school and church. And I just was thinking, gosh, I need to learn how to say no. I want to learn how to say no. And God was like, I'll take out your crossing.
Yeah.
I'll keep you at your house. Because even now, we have to get ready, pile onto the 4-wheeler or Ranger or Jeep or, walk and get sweaty if we're going in public. It's going to be funny. So I'm always a couple minutes late everywhere we go now. That's a lost cause.
Well, now we'll be a lot later.
Very late.
And so we've had a lot of rain here, but we did an episode back, and for you people that listen, regularly, about the lady that got thrown off the horse and got hurt, and those are our friends Steve and Terry. Mm-hmm. They live in kind of eastern central Oklahoma, south of Tulsa, and they have had extreme flooding and lost, really 95% of their crops on their farm, and it's a huge deal for them and a huge loss, and they've got a huge cleanup, still water on it today, and don't know when that's going to get off. And really all over Oklahoma, it's that way, and parts of Kansas and right in all the United States, but right through there especially, it's not just farmers getting flooded. There's a lot of homes and stuff, but them specifically to us, is really important to us, and they have really suffered and going to suffer a lot from this deal.
Yeah, I called Jay to tell him something yesterday, and it was the first time in our whole relationship that he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna merge you in," and he got me on the phone. The three of us were talking with Steve and Jay and I, and it just breaks our heart to be here. Feels so helpless, and we're not doing anything, and so I really do hope that we're going to be able to get up there and actually help them, but. We wanted to tell them on here, because we know they listen to every episode. We just wanted to tell them how much they mean to us and how they've been in our thoughts every day, all day, and how much we truly just love them and care for them.
Well, and we'd ask y'all, to have them in your thoughts too. It's going to be a big change for them, and they're going to have a really, really hard run ahead of them here for sure.
It's going to take a few years to just recover from this moment. So.
There's a historic flooding there in Weber's Falls and Gore, Oklahoma. And,
right.
I think 1943 was the worst flood, and this one's far surpassed it.
Right. And they have Cody and Ashley, that's their son and his wife, and Lacey and Michael. Michael has just joined the farm operation. Right. He's farming with them, which I'm the whole time they've been telling us everything. I've just been so happy that Michael's been there and a part of it. He hadn't had to take off work to come help his family. He's in it. So we just want to lift them up in prayer and just tell them that we are really rooting for them and praying for them.
No, it's going to be a long road, but they're a strong family. They'll get it done for sure.
They are.
So we've been CrossFitting every day this week just about, and we worked out together, which is something we're going to talk about today, but it kind of led us to a funny story of a guy we were working with. I had never met him, and so I was talking to him during the workout, I think, and asking him in between huffing and puffing, what he did for a living. And he told me, so I'm a pilot, and I fly for TI. And I'll let you pick up your part of the story here.
They had to kind of section us off into teams, so Jay and I got teamed up with this nice guy, and we had to do a farmer's carry. So we went outside, and down the alleyway of the two buildings, we had to carry two very heavy kettlebells, 100 meters feet, or I can't remember. So anyways, I got out there, and Jay's like, babe, he's like a private pilot for TI. And so I'm thinking like cash flying in the air and girls with tight dresses and vodka and like all of these mental images, and I was like, that's neat, how cool. Like, I don't think I've ever met anyone like that. And so the whole day, that's what I thought. And later that day I said, how do you think like he got in with the rap crew? And Jay's like, baby, Texas Instruments. And we laughed.
No, first ask, how do you get a rap crew out of TI? Because I had
Jay
no idea who it was.
Jay didn't know who TI was, and not many of our friends that we've told even know who the rapper is.
Kids did, but...
Well, and then I have all of my friends knew who he was. And so anyways, our buddy Corey has made the biggest stink about it and has not let it go. And it is time for him to let it go. And he said he's going to start calling me TI.
Yeah.
That's all the thanks I get for being just the best friend he's ever had.
That was pretty funny, though.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yep. So we've been back to CrossFit for about 2 solid weeks, maybe.
3, I think.
3.
Where we're really hitting most days, yeah.
Yeah. CrossFit is our first love, wouldn't you say? And I had taken some time to box with my coach, and Jay had taken some time to go back to a bro gym and train with a trainer every morning. So Jay's been religious with his fitness since mid-December. I told Jay I was having a really hard time getting to our CrossFit box, which makes me really miss out on my community. That's our main community. And so I was really kind of slipping into a funk because I told him going to CrossFit alone felt like going to church alone.
Yeah.
I just had no interest in it. So I had this whole speech prepared and with bullet points and a PowerPoint presentation, went to Jay and was like, I really just want to start a conversation with you. And he was like, just interrupted, and he's like, I'll go back. And I was like, you will? Like, I had no idea. Which, if I'm kind of mulling over something or thinking about something, it's like Jay's on to me immediately. So he probably knew the conversation was coming because I'm not as slick as I think I am. So he made arrangements with his personal trainer, and I made arrangements with my coach, and we've gone back to CrossFit. And I was wondering for a little bit, because it was so hard to get back going, I was like, maybe we made the wrong decision, because you just want to quit. Your mind is like, abort mission, like, do not do this. And so I was like, oh, what if I've made the wrong decision? And he was happy at the gym, and now I've, changed that for him, jeopardized his happiness. And it's just the beginning. The beginning sucks so bad.
Well, that's the hardest part of getting going is either if you're starting or if you've been out like we were for a while with some shoulder stuff and just getting back going. It's hard to just get yourself in the mindset. And for us, it's better for me to go early in the morning, early, but you don't necessarily like to go early. But in the afternoon, it's hard for me to make it. And so that was for us just trying to carve out a time, to go do it together. And we still can every day, especially during school. And so, but we juggle it, make it work, and do it as often as we can. And when we can, we try to do it at home. So
yeah, if you said, why are you obsessed with CrossFit? What is your absolute favorite part of CrossFit? I would tell you that if you've got 20 people doing the hardest workout you've ever seen, and they all get done, there's always one or two people that are not done yet. And those 20 people will go and redo the end of the workout so that that person is not alone. It is a group, a team, it is a community, it's a tribe. It's a crew mentality that I'm obsessed with. And it's just the support that I feel like we're missing in our society. You can find it in CrossFit. My favorite part of CrossFit is my least favorite experience for myself. So I do my entire workout so that I push myself so hard that because I'm terrified of being that person, that last person. I don't want to be it. That's my personality. I don't want you to come cheer me on. I want to finish with everybody else or before everyone else. That's not going to happen because we've been out. So anyways, one of the very first days, the reason I said I wanted to quit is they were all done and I was like not even halfway through, you know. And so I got on the bike and I just lost it. The emotion overtook me, not sadness, just pure embarrassment. I was so mad because I've been an athlete my whole life and I never come in last. And here we've come back and now I'm last every single time. It is so humbling. Yeah. And I was letting it be humiliating, you know. So one of my best friends, Michelle, she just got right in my right ear and just went on and on and on. Everything, just like you say in your podcast, and you got to get out of your head. And she coached me for about 10 minutes and got me through the rest. And I was so thankful for her. And the more I would get upset about being last, the more I would get upset that I couldn't bust through those mental barriers. And here we are, trying to teach other how to bust through them, and I'm on a bike not busting through them in front of people, which makes you feel like an imposter and a fraud. And you have to remember that we have weaknesses and are just going through this process of getting back just like everybody else would. And so, yes, it was so humbling, and I think we've gotten past that point a little bit.
Till we hit another workout like that one anyway.
To where it's getting a little bit better every single time we can see the strides that we're making. And so now we're back to the enjoyable part, but the first part just stunk.
Well, it doesn't. The workout for me, after you recover, the feeling of having that done is pretty addictive to me to do every day. It is for sure.
Yeah. You get some momentum.
Yeah. I mean, you get some momentum to continue to push on and do and improve on those times and not be that person last, as I said correctly.
so this past week, I forget why, but I know what it was. I needed to go to CrossFit from like 8:30 to 9:30. And then I was going to meet my boxing coach at 9:45 at a park in Melissa. And Lily went rogue on me. She needed to go to her dad's and change her clothes. And so I didn't get to our workout till late. And I might have been a little bit of a cherry picker because it was all deadlifts. And I had coached like 5 games the night before.
Yeah.
And my lower back does not stand for 5 hours, but yeah, I did. And so, anyways, I got there. I was like, I can't do deadlifts. And so in CrossFit, our yoga is called Ramwad, for range of motion. And so I was doing it on the floor next to the 20 people doing a killer workout. It's just amazing to watch them. And my yoga finished, and their hashtag is swole and flexy. And I started laughing, and I was like, that is... First, it reminds me of us. You're swole and I'm flexy. And because I'm all about the stretching and the mobility. And I'm a kines major. And so I know how important that it is.
Yeah.
And just knowing that
I'm not flexy, but
you're not flexy, but you're so swole. Just since he's been training since mid-December, he has put, about 20 pounds of muscle just on his upper body. It's incredible to see. And how hard he's worked for it. And so he's my swole and I'm the flexi. And I just kept thinking that is so, I don't know, I always look for pictures. And so I was like, that's such a symbolic, just a symbol, a picture of how we have to be in our relationships
right.
with each other and blending our family in having grace for ourselves in our marriage and everything that we talk about on here. It all has to stay pretty swole and flexy.
Right.
Just being strong enough and flexible enough going into our summer schedule with the kids and having to be giving and taking with the other parents and being flexible on that and being flexible with our spouse on this and that. It takes a whole lot of strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that's something that I've learned from you is because I may have wanted to say that I was flexible and giving, but a lot of times you have to still teach me how to do that.
Right. Well, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And it's not always easy to fit in and completely change what you're doing to help somebody else for sure.
No, it takes a whole lot of strength. And with CrossFit, we are taught that a muscled body without flexibility is nothing, and a flexible body without muscles is nothing.
Right.
And so how you're having to be whole and have all of it. So when the Lord started hiding this in my heart of, let's talk about the fitness. And I feel like, some people work out and some people don't.
Right.
And that may be how it is, but I just don't feel like that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And maybe not all of you should do CrossFit. Not all of you should be a runner. Not all of you should lift weights. But, we were given these bodies to take care of.
Right.
And we are all supposed to be doing some form of exercise, any type you can muster, whether it's walking or yoga or Tai Chi or cycling,
Right.
There's something out there for you. There's just so many different ways to get it in.
It is, and for me, doing what I do for a living, especially, 20 years ago, I worked like a sled dog,
Right.
physical every day, working something. But,
Right.
I realized over time when I finally, right before I had my son, that, I was overweight and really out of shape. I could work all day long in the heat and do whatever, but when it came to run or do that kind of stuff, it just wasn't there. And that
Right.
that started me down the path, and I found, in which, reminded me of, of it a while ago when you were talking about that. When I go work out that hour and a half or whatever it is, my mind just shuts down because I have to focus on what I'm doing just to get it done and get through the workout and
You're right.
not be that person that I don't, at the end, or just being able to finish or trying to, be competitive and get as much done as I can, and, our competitive nature. And that's the part that I really, for me, that I carved out that I love about it probably the most, is that my mind just does not dwell on everything that's going on and busy and all that while I'm working out.
Yep. Do you not like being that last person either?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't.
I'm going to start asking our friends if they mind it. Because it is just such a beautiful, beautiful thing until you're that person.
Yeah.
And then it's not beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's not terrible, but I mean, I just don't, I want to be past that.
It's
I want to be
helpful.
doing, it'll motivate you for sure.
It it really will. And, if you're in a gym and you set out to do 4 or 5 sets and you cut out at 3, no one knows.
Yeah.
But if you're at CrossFit and your job is to get 5 sets done, you're not leaving at 3.
No.
You're not. And if you do, everyone knows.
Yeah.
And you just don't want that reputation.
A lot of accountability, yeah.
Yes. And there's so much accountability coming from all different directions. So that's what we do, is just trying to get faster. My mind is so slow. I have such a slow mind when it comes to our training. And so if we need 40 wall balls, I'll be like, okay, just get sets of 10. And I'll end up doing sets of like 1. 40 sets of 1. It's so hard when you're so tired to catch that ball. I just let it fall at my feet and just want to die. But it's just so good for us. And we can tell the days that we don't work out. We can tell the months that we don't work out. In our life, you can look back, whether we've had a surgery for this or that and we've had to be out. Just our mental state.
Yeah.
I mean, even just missing a workout can just cause a funk or a headache.
Well, and for me, it just got that flexibility, and I mean, just being out for a while, it really, really worked me over along that line.
For sure.
Yeah.
We all make it a little bit harder than it has to be. We were with a friend a couple of summers ago on a rafting trip, and he was telling us that he had come up with a fitness app. And we're like, oh, how is it? And he was so animated and just hilarious and larger than life. And he holds his phone up and using very colorful language that I can't use on here. He was saying, he sets his fitness app, which was his timer on his phone. And he says, see here, this fitness app, I just press start here and I start walking. And when this app says 30, I turn around and I walk back. And so we all just got the biggest kick out of his fitness app and have since then lost him.
Yeah.
And that's one of our fondest memories of him. And I'll tell Jay, did you use your fitness app? So just...
So in saying that, it doesn't have to be complicated.
No, it doesn't. Just stripping it back down to, if all you have is 20 minutes, take out your fitness app and walk until it says 10 and walk back. It's just something so simple. We did a 3-minute workout yesterday at the gym. Tell them about it.
So get on Airdyne bike for what?
13 calories.
13 calories on the Airdyne bike, and that's as fast as you can go, jumping off, doing 10 burpees, and you do as many rounds as you can in 3 minutes, and you think, boy, that's not.
We thought it was a typo.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 30, but
We
it's
thought
a
it
good
was
thing it
30
wasn't
minutes.
30 because I barely made the 3. It was very, very hard, and of course, we had lifted and stuff
Yes.
before that, but I mean, it was very hard.
My body had shut down around 89 seconds. But because you can, sometimes in like a 30-minute workout, I'll nearly rest for like a minute.
Yeah.
You couldn't rest for any time because the workout was 3 minutes long. You just had to go all out, full throttle, and when we were done, we were toast.
Yeah.
There's kind of a known thing in CrossFit that if you doubt the workout. If you underestimate the workout, that's going to be the worst one.
Yeah, I'm really bad about doing that too.
No, babe, I think everyone
Yeah.
is, because everyone talks about how don't be careful for the ones that you underestimate, because
Right.
they're the doozies. And so we, of course, were proved wrong again, because it ate our lunch. Fitness has been a big part of my life just because I'd played basketball my entire life. And then when I got to college, I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist,
Right.
and which would have been very similar to what I ended up doing. But I got in a clinic and to do my volunteer hours, and the physical therapist, I didn't feel like he was with the clients as much as I was as a tech. And I wanted to be with them.
Right.
That was my favorite part. I didn't want to deal with insurance or dictate notes or any of that stuff. I wanted to be with the clients as they worked out. And so I tried to decide what is a tech that makes money. And I landed on a personal trainer.
Right.
So I went to college for kinesiology and minored in sociology because I wanted to know everything about the body and the mind. I just knew it all worked together. And so after that, got into several different fitness clubs and was a personal trainer for about 12 years. And then that's when we moved to north of Bonham, which is a town north of here where we live. And they didn't have a CrossFit, and I had already kind of fallen in love with CrossFit. And so what I did is I just started a few boot camps in parking lots modeled after the CrossFit.
Right.
And so that's where I kind of fell in love with all of it.
Right.
And so my kids have been around it just like I was. I was on the side of the church gym while my mom did step aerobics for 10 years. And I think that had a gigantic impact on my life.
Yeah.
And even just, and what's funny is you think in this day, you're like, oh gosh, they're bored. Like it's summer and they're sitting on the side. And that was such a positive experience for me.
Right.
And so it made me really happy that my kids got to be around the entire boot camp culture for, 5 years.
Yeah.
And now any chance I can get them to CrossFit to watch,
Right.
I think
we
is
definitely want to pass it down to the next generation.
for sure.
Attitude of wanting to do it. And for me, it was all about family history, heart disease, and diabetes, and dealing with that kind of stuff. And that's what really motivated me to get started when I started. And it's been a journey for sure, but I wouldn't change any part of it. I definitely am a believer in it.
Right. I mean, it's just something so simple that's at your reach. All you need is a spot on the living room floor or a back road or a sidewalk, and it doesn't take insurance or money for medicine or money for doctor's visits, and it actually keeps you out of those offices.
Sure. And that's a big motivator for me too.
It's a huge motivator, but for some, that's not enough,
Right.
and it's just hard to find that motivation. And so what we say is don't wait on the motivation.
Yeah.
Just find a way to get it done. Find someone that cares enough to bully you into getting there until you can get yourself there. Yesterday, we were supposed to go to the 6:30 a.m. workout, and you couldn't have paid me $1 million to get me out of bed. My mind had put its foot down, and I was not getting out of bed. And Jay was so ugly to me.
You're welcome.
And he just kept saying, come on, babe, come on, babe, come on, babe, over and over and over, which he knows I don't appreciate when I'm sleeping. And, oh gosh, he stayed on me and stayed on me.
I did
And
find out too where one of our childs gets the stomping.
Children?
One of our children, gets the stomping when
the middle one. Mm-hmm. The middle one.
yes.
Did you do it today?
No, she just does it a lot, and I found out where it
does
came from. And after I made you get out of bed to go work
You
out.
didn't. You didn't make me out of bed. He used a guilt. Guilt reaches me. I'm very much a guilt person,
And
and
stomped
so
down the stairs.
yeah, I was mad. And so he tried and tried and tried, and I just started playing possum. I wouldn't even answer his questions anymore. I was staying in bed no matter what. And he kissed me on my shoulder, and he goes, I just really wanted you to go with me this morning. And he walked downstairs. And of course, that's all it takes. I was so mad. I was still mad when we got to the box. Our coach was like,
You
what?
were, really?
You remember?
It was a quiet ride.
But I was using my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over and over and over. I want to get out of this bed. I'm the one that pulled him from the bro gym to come to CrossFit, and now I'm a deserter. I've deserted him. And so I was using it over and over and over and just trying to reset my mentality, because you're not always going to feel like you want to do something. And I'm still so mad at you, but...
For us as a couple, though, I mean, doing that together is important. And
it's
obviously,
so important.
You know, you push me when I'm not wanting to get there, and I push you when you're not wanting to get there. And working out together for us is something we really enjoy, and we're very competitive with each other.
We're so competitive. But I mean, I remember, you know, December, January, February, you were getting up at like 4:30 in the morning in like, you know, the teens.
Yeah.
And there was not enough money in the world to get me to do that. And I remember asking him, what's your motivation? Like, how are you pulling this off? Because it was like a every day, every week morning for like, 20 weeks straight, you know. It was phenomenal. And so I was like, how are you? When it got really cold, that's when I don't understand it, because I don't go outside when it's cold. And so
we live in Texas.
So I said, tell me, like, what's the secret? Like, what's your motivation? And without skipping a beat, he goes, you. And it reminded me that I'm supposed to be holding up my end of the bargain. You know, when we made a commitment to each other, to love each other and honor each other, that's also with our bodies. My body is Jay's and Jay's is mine. We are one person, and Scripture tells us that. And I know that may sound old-fashioned and it may sound weird, but I am to present the most attractive thing to my husband that I can. And letting myself go and getting lazy and unmotivated and depressed and anxiety, which is what a sedentary lifestyle creates. That's what you allow to create when you're sedentary, is unacceptable in my commitment to my husband. I'm really, really thankful that it's something that's important to you, because I feel so not sorry for my friends, but I just wish they were in a different situation when I hear them trying to convince their husbands to fall in love with exercise and health and fitness, because it is such a sad place to be, because it's not really something that can come from the wife. It comes as a nag, and it's almost like it pushes you guys further away. I'm always just so thankful that you have never put me in that situation. And I want the men that are listening, and I'm not talking to our farmers and our ranchers. You guys are killing it every single day and don't necessarily need to be in the gym. But
even cardio-wise, for that, I mean, I needed it and way over what I strength-wise.
But I'm saying a sedentary lifestyle does not apply to a farmer or a rancher or anybody in manual labor.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely excluding that, but I'm just saying, if you've found yourself in a rut and you've been waiting for motivation for years to get back to something, I really just would encourage you that it can help in so many different ways. I mean, just finding something that you love. It can be so off the wall, you know, Krav Maga, or is that how you say it?
Yeah. Well, and we've got a friend that's taken up cycling that has just done phenomenal in probably, less than a year.
Who's that?
From church.
Oh, yes. And lost so much weight. Looks like a whole different person. And it makes them have more confidence. It makes you more attractive to your wife. It makes the confidence alone is so sexy, you know. Just helps in so many different areas of your marriage, areas that we're not going to talk about on our podcast, but want to mention right now.
Okay. Oh, goodness. You know, for me, going back and talking about us working out together and motivating with you watching me and knowing that, you know, I want to push myself and try to do things better than I normally would if you weren't watching, do them faster, or do more weight or whatever you want to do. I want to push myself. And
Yeah. You remember when we were in the gym?
oh, yeah.
You remember?
Oh, yeah. I was working out with a really close friend of mine, and Jess was coming, I don't know, a couple of times a week and kind of pushing us and putting us through some workouts and stuff. And so one day we were doing bench, and his wife came. Jess had got his wife to come, and we'd been lifting, I don't know, maybe for like 2.5 months or something, 3 months. And so we get ready to do the bench, and he does one, and then we get to the next round, and Jess puts a bunch of weight on there, and he's like, I can't do that. And she looks over at his wife and says, come here and stand right over the top of him. So his wife's standing right on top of the bench and just looking down at him, and he grabs that bar, 30 pounds more than he'd been doing. He just does it like nothing. And I mean, he just, you know, been holding himself back with her standing there watching him. He throws it up like it's nothing. So, you know, it just intrigued me that happened. And the more we work out together, I see it. And then, like we said earlier, you know, you and I are competitive, and I want you to do good, and you want me to do good, but I want to beat you by just a little bit too.
Right.
So.
Good luck.
Yeah. You have anything else, babe?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all, but I just wanted to finish with saying, you know, we're about 50 miles northeast of Dallas. If any of you listening are local and need some ideas or need to go with someone to get started, you just reach out to us, and we have a few different ways that we train, and we can definitely get you set up quick.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of different things, and I think everybody's got something, you know, that they can do, and it's just hard to fit it all in time wise. But if you make it, it's definitely well worth it.
I know. Even just get in your app store and type out exercise routine or exercises or fitness regimen, anything like that. There's a bunch of new apps that have come out. I know there's one, I cannot remember what it's called, but they even have a 600-second workout, a new one. So taking the excuse out that you don't have enough time. I have a Beachbody login that I can use on my phone or laptop wherever I am. And then I have a Ramwad app on my phone for what I was saying a minute ago, which is like yoga. It's a everyday workout that they stream for 15 minutes. And then on Thursdays, it's a 45-minute workout, yoga session. And it's just so helpful to have something up on your phone. You know, I'll kick off my shoes, set my phone next to one of my shoes, you know, so I can see it, and just get on the floor and finish that 15-minute workout. And it just helps so much. Right. So if you need ideas and tricks, we've kind of tried all the things, and just direct message us or text us, and we can help in any way that we can.
Well, and I think the biggest thing, you know, for you and I as a couple is we feed off each other, and I obviously look to you for, you know, what to do and what's best, you know, with your background. But we feed off each other, and we push each other, and I know that doing it makes me more attractive to you.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, you know, I want to do that, and so I'm here for you and the kids, and it's a motivational deal any way you cut it, and it's something that we do together, and we try to do together as often as we can, and I don't know, for me, it's something, you know, I've never really experienced, and it is really, I don't know, it's something really awesome to have in a relationship for sure.
Right, I love it too, and I want to revisit the whole, if you do have a spouse that's just zero interested, I just have always heard that you just cannot use bullying or nagging or any type of negativity. It almost is just way more successful to attack it from your direction.
Yeah.
So if you can delve into bettering yourself and showing your spouse, this is what happens when I do this, and just using love and encouragement and positivity and a lot of prayer.
Well, and for us, it's that, and, you know, I want my kids to I want to pass this down and for it to go and to have, that kind of want to and motivation earlier in life than I did, because I spent, 12 years I really wasted that, heart was hard on my body and time I should have been, doing all this same thing. And I'd rather them just transition, right out of school sports or whatever they're doing and just keep right on doing it. And I hope, we get them motivated enough and they see us doing it, that becomes part of your life, just like the step aerobics with your mother,
Yeah. Well, and even yesterday, one of our sons was bench pressing and kind of lagging behind. And Jay was able to lock up and kind of trash talk him a little bit and say, I did about 3-4 times that yesterday. You can get with it. And I told Jay, that's so important for you to be able to say that from experience, instead of, trying to motivate him and trying to push him from a very sedentary angle would not work at all. But him bench pressing today, knowing that Jay bench pressed yesterday and that they possibly could bench press together tomorrow, that's a game changer right there. So I think if, whatever you're wanting to instill in your children, it's not going to be able to just be verbalized. You're just going to have to show them this is what's important, and it's important. It's so important that I do it.
Right.
And it's important that I want you to do it too. So we just challenge all of you. It's something that really, we're not better than anybody at this stuff. We've got weight that we need to lose.
No, for sure.
And we're not like fitness gods. No. Like, it's just, the reason we wanted to address it today is because it's something that has changed our lives. And the reason we have a podcast is to be able to pass along all of the tricks that we've learned in our marriage and in our family. And fitness is probably one of the biggest ones.
Well, and I think, too, what we've been through the last 2 years, and you throw in a couple of surgeries for me, one for you, and the ups and downs of that, and what we recognize when we weren't doing anything versus when we're both going at it really hard. The rewards, we're just off a different scale that we see doing that, and in all ways, and it's and it's definitely worth it, with the individual and as a couple, and that's I guess to me that's the biggest point that I would say today is just what it does bring to the table for a marriage for us, and what I can see. We went through probably 6 months and nothing, of that sedentary lifestyle. And once we picked that up, and we're 6 months further along, the other way.
Yes.
And it's just a big change for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted, that's why I guess where I'm getting is, if you're wanting something better for your marriage or something better for your family or something better for your life, fitness is something that can change it. And I think if you find something that works for you and you delve into it, you will never, ever say, I wish I hadn't have done that. Yeah. You will always be happy that you gave it a chance.
Sure.
If you can just get out of your own way, especially for those of you that say, I'm not interested in exercise or I'm not a fitness person, that's fine. But we have a commitment to take care of these bodies that we've been given.
And a commitment to our children, too.
Yes, to live a very long, healthy life. And one of my girlfriends always hashtags on everything, nursing home can suck it. And I even saw a meme the other day. It was this sweet little 70-year-old lady knitting in a rocking chair. And then next to it, it was like this lady in a sports bra with kettlebells. I mean, she was amazing, and she was 70, and it was like your choice.
Yeah.
It was just no excuses, and so this is just something that we find important and we find helpful, and we just wanted to talk about it today.
We've talked about fitness and each other and how it affects us, and usually every week we have some kind of quote, and you had written down one here we'd about forgotten, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah. And I know it doesn't really even apply to fitness, but I loved it. And it's by Martin Luther King Jr. And he says, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. And it reminded me of our podcast.
Yeah.
people, all of our friends say, why? You have 5 kids, a farm, basketball. Why did you start a podcast? Everyone always asks us, why do we do this? Why do we do this? And it just reminded me, we've just decided this is the ring we decided to throw our hat in. It's for love and not hate.
Right. And we're a little crazy, but go ahead.
Yeah, we are.
For sure. You got anything else today?
I don't, and we said that like 30 minutes ago. That's funny.
Yeah, we did, and we just kept going.
Yes.
Well, as the song says, the road goes on forever and the party never ends.
I love you.
And I love you too. We sure appreciate y'all listening today. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can search for us, Moving On Podcast. That's 3 words, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We would love to hear from you. With ways you're figuring out how to drop the ropes in each of your own lives, and even ways that you're not. Hell, that's just as entertaining to us. See you in a couple of weeks.